Can any of you, seriously, can any of you tell me what that says? No. Okay, let me ask you a different question. Who here, by show of hands, is familiar with the science fiction program Doctor Who? That's close. That's almost all of you. Good. Well, I was worried I didn't have any good people with good taste in television. Well, in the show, the main character, the Doctor, is an alien, and he writes in a circular script much like this. And this, in fact, says... This is actually the wrong slide. This one. This one, in fact, says... The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. A quote from Einstein. And I could tell that it was actually that quote and not the other one, because I myself can read it, and if needs be, write it. And I'd like to actually give you a demonstration. So, would anyone like their name in this circular script called Gallifreyan? Come on, anyone? Alan. Alan. And that is for you, Alan. Anyone else? I've got time for a couple.
Ellen. Ellen.
Two L's?
Yeah.
Ellen. I think I have time for one more. No, Hannah, I've done yours twice.
Joe.
Joe, nice and easy. Wonderful.
With an E.
Of course. Close enough. Simple once you learn it, but I assure you it took me about 2 months to learn the entire alphabet. But what I find more interesting was that this system, since Doctor Who started in 1963 or since its revival in 2005, this alphabet has never appeared in a single episode, or at least not until recently. It was created by a man called Lorenzo Sherman in America. It's based on a very sketchy version of Gallifreyan, which to a trained eye like myself is literally a mass of circles and nothing more. But Lorenzo Sherman's system has become much more widely spread and much more well known. If you Google the Gallifreyan alphabet, this is what you will get: a system that works perfectly with this and the means by which I learned, and the means by which, if you have a month's worth of free time and a lot of compasses, you can learn as well. But I find it more interesting that one man who simply likes a television program would take the time and convert 30 letters, not 26, into circles so that some other people might be able to take the time to learn it and write it themselves. And this isn't the only example of how fanatic domains, or fandoms if you will, create their own art or literature or anything that might be considered excellent, which is what culture is all about. And when you consider where this thing comes from, one name in my mind comes first. And that is the microblogging website Tumblr. It started in 2007, and it was for photographers and writers to be able to share their work and display it so that they can get criticism and publication. Nowadays, at least half of the art that's coming out of Tumblr looks somewhat like this. Fantasized depictions of the Avengers and Sherlock Holmes, among many other characters, some of which I see every day, every time I log on. But all of the art that comes out, as I'm sure you can see, any artists in the room, would clearly show that this is of professional quality. And it is almost always of such. And the same goes for the literature that's made. The Art of Deduction is a collection of writings and pictures of all kinds from across the Sherlock fandom, and it was written and collated by someone I've known for precisely 4 months, and someone that I met through Tumblr. And the other book, You and Who, is a collection of non-fiction writings by official Doctor Who analysts, and contains the writing of myself and my father, who's in the crowd right there. But that's the main point. People do not create these simple works of art because they have to, like any professionals do, but because they want to. And when someone asks me about what I think of the fandoms, then I quote Castiel from Supernatural whenever he thinks about cheeseburgers. These make me very happy. And they do. They produce some of the nicest people and some of the greatest creators that I'll ever know. So are there any disadvantages? Is there anything bad about being part of the fandoms? And I'm ashamed to say that there actually is. The fandoms attract a certain kind of person. They're, shall we say, misunderstood. The author of The Guide to Deduction suffered from very strong social anxiety disorder. I myself suffered a personal battle to be able to come and speak to you today. We do not really fit well with the rest of the world, and some don't understand that. That's why we feel the need to retreat to our computers and our TV shows. Another problem is that of the law. About a year ago, America was trying to pass an act called SOPA and PIPA, if you will, where they would restrict what kind of content was on the entire internet. And if it infringed copyright in any way, it would be removed, and the creator would be liable to a fine of up to 4 digits. So every time someone posts on Tumblr a picture of 4 characters that would never meet in one movie, as if it were a movie poster, it creates a copyright headache that these people would just jump on and destroy. And some critics in Tumblr liken that to book burning, which I can't help but agree with, because the size of the things that the people love completely dwarfs those who want to restrict it. And ultimately, it is up to the creators to be able to distribute it to the fans. It's not up to them to say that they can restrict it anyway, because it's not theirs to take. And also necessarily, the people who are locked away from it, who are locked away from the rest of the world, who feel like they don't understand, they need the fandoms, if you will, because the fandoms teach them things. Like, personally, they taught me that family doesn't extend with blood. Some of the people that I have no relation to, some of my friends who I know through the fandoms, have become some of the best people that I've ever known. It teaches me that everyone deserves to be happy and everyone has a place in the world, because someone my age who can fail academically day after day after day can come home and draw something that will be so amazing they will want to become an artist in the future, like someone I know. Someone can also see that there will always someone you can trust, and that will be someone who also appreciates the things that they see. And in the simple message that Lorenzo Sherman made when he started his Gallifreyan alphabet, is that we will be there for you, always and forever, no matter what. And that is what the fandoms believe in.